This is the 2025 Audi Q4 E-Tron, which is a compact electric SUV that midway through the 2024 model year received a meaningful power bump, increased range, and a charging upgrade, all at zero extra cost. So today, I'm going to test it and see how it stacks up against the competition. So it is strange that a manufacturer would make so many changes in the middle of a model year, but Audi did it anyway. This used to be a Q4 E-Tron 50, and they changed it to a Q4 E-Tron 55. And that carried over to this 2025 model, which has all of those upgrades included in it. But you won't see any badges denoting this. You'll only see those on the sticker. So the Q4 E-Tron models go up against rivals like the Tesla Model Y and the Volvo C40 Recharge. But this one, I think it's a little bit more luxurious on the inside. And what I like about Audi is they try and maintain a very normal look. This, in fact, looks very similar to the gas-powered model. Of course, it's a little bit different on the front because you don't get a grille to let air into the engine. Instead, it's all sort of blocked off Audi four rings here. I think it looks pretty good. E-Tron down here, and then these matrix LED headlights on either side. And it's certainly pure Audi at the back. The four rings, you've got a Q4 badge here. You've got a Quattro badge there because it is all-wheel drive, and then an E-Tron stamped into the bumper. I like the way it looks. So the reason why Audi made these changes is because there were some criticisms about the car. The steering feel was kind of wonky, the brakes were squishy, and the suspension tuning was all out of whack. So what did they do? Well, they gave the steering more feel, they unsquished the brakes, and they made the suspension tauter and much more Audi-like, as in like a gas-powered Audi. Standard on this car are these 19-inch 5-spoke alloy wheels. They're wearing these Bridgestone lenses. They're all-season. They're two 35/55s all around. I think they're adequate for the performance of this car. Now, if you want to spend $1,800 to get the 21-inch wheels, not worth it. You can. The brakes at the front use what we have seen on many cars, discs with calipers. On the back, these are in fact drum brakes, something I haven't seen since my 1976 VW Polo that I had right out of college. But Audi says that this is, and VW too, they put them on the ID4, this is the better way to go. I feel like it might be being cheap. So under the hood, you get quite a lot of, well, black plastic. Good news is they've increased the power of the rear motor, so now you get, instead of 295 horsepower, you get 335. Torque remains the same at 339 foot-pounds from 0 RPM. That has helped the 0 to 60 time. It goes from 5.6 to 5 seconds dead. The weird part is the top speed used to be 113, and now they've pegged it to 100. Not that it really matters. More good news, the battery, it is the same size, 77 actual kilowatts of power contained in it. Cells are smaller, it's tightly packed, it's more dense. That gives you more range and more efficiency. So now it's gone from 236 miles of range to 258 miles of range, whether you get this, the SUV, or the Sportback. And more importantly, the peak charging speed has gone up from 150 kilowatts to 175, which is really good. So from 10 to 80%, it'll charge 8 minutes faster. This is a prestige model, so you get a powered liftgate, and space is pretty decent. You get around 24 behind the rear seats. You put those seats down, you get around 53, and you also get some additional space under here to store stuff. And then there's your 110 volt useless charger. And then it all folds nicely flat, a couple of cubbies in either side. So as I mentioned, you can get a Sportback, and the only difference is a slightly more sloping rear roofline. and that will cost you $3,000. Doesn't make sense to me because I think this looks a nice car in exactly the way it is. Anyway, this one starts at $52,500. The paint is $595, and it also has the Prestige package. That'll cost you $6,600. Gives you a really nice Sonos sound system and also dual pane acoustic glass, as well as a heated steering wheel, a heated windshield, a heat pump, headlight washers, and animation for the headlights and tail lights. Add that up and your total out-the-door price including destination is $64,690. So in the back, this sort of cream beige seat coloring certainly livens up the interior. Seats are decently comfortable. The back is pushed back enough that you're not sitting bolt upright. Really nice quality as you expect for an Audi. Pull this down, got a couple of really nice cup holders. Down here you've got vents, temperature controls, and some power, including a 12 volt. And also a little bit of storage in the back of the seats. Very nice. Just as good in the front. These seats are decently supportive. They're not the Audi sport seats. They're a little bit Germanically hard as well, but they've got multi-way power for both driver and passenger, including memory. And then it's got this nice feel leather steering wheel. So like all other Audi models, the Q4 E-Tron's cabin is basically a technological showcase for Audi's latest and greatest gadgets. This Q4 E-Tron has the latest version of Audi's MMI. You get a 10.3-inch digital gauge display for the driver and a very large 11.6-inch infotainment touchscreen, which is nicely angled towards the driver, which I like. Once you hit the home button, you get a bunch of menus. You can go into vehicle, charging. We're at 84.5%. Apparently that'll give me 219 miles of range. Navigation is pretty quick, just hit that. It loads up. You can also go into settings. You can change your general settings, system maintenance, connected devices. Below that, Audi's given you physical buttons for the climate control system, which is nice. And then further down, unfortunately, we've got some piano black, stop start. One thing I don't like, and Audi used to pride itself on having a physical volume button. Now you've got this like weird swirly thing for track change and volume. Here's the shifter, park button, and then reverse neutral, go. And then B just provides you with more regen. Traction control off here, and then drive select. You get efficiency, comfort, auto, dynamic, and individual. You can go into individual, and you can go sporty across the board. Hidden down here is sort of a rubberized mat with some space, a couple of USBs, and a 12 volt. And then you've got your charger, which fits in there. And then this is Audi's crank style armrest. Everyone's familiar with Audi's driver display gauges. It's one of the best. You can flick around, you can make changes to it. You can go into information pages, you can change what's on the left-hand side, you can change what's on the right-hand side. Right now I have it with the range on the left, it's also showing in the center, you've got the time, the date. You can mess around with all this stuff and change it if you wish. Up here you've got some nice little sort of touch lights. And finally, this one comes with a sunroof. That leaves us with one thing left to do and take it for a drive. Since we have 219 miles of range, we're gonna go dynamic. Okay, engaging. Drive select, we're in individual, sport, the whole 9 yards. Okay. All right, we're ready to go. So, Triton B here. Let's go. Suspension should be a little bit firmer. Very quiet. These acoustic windows help. This is some pretty bad pavement, but I drove down here in auto mode. Definitely feels livelier in this sporty mode. And I like it. the additional 40 horsepower does make itself be known. So electric cars can feel somewhat numb to drive. Not a whole lot of soul going on. And it's usually because the suspension is just generally weird, and it was in this car when it first came out. And now it feels quite lively, and the steering and the turn-in is actually pretty good. It is a big improvement. Stamp on it, and this has got some zip to it, but it really does turn nicely. It's got the all-wheel drive. Obviously it doesn't really have the tires for this kind of twisty road, but I don't think it needs them. If there was an SQ4 E-Tron, yeah, I'd need a bigger battery. That would be nice. 500 horsepower or something. All right, so we're back on the more major road here. Let's see how it goes. Got about 178 miles of range. Less twisty, certainly better pavement. Some uphill, some downhill, we can recoup some charge if necessary. This is a tidy handling little car. I mean, with better tires on it, it would be epic, but it doesn't have those, but it does drive very well. If there's anything to complain about, it does start losing power a little bit at the top end, but that's nothing that an S version can't fix. Easily past that truck. So going uphill, going to use quite a bit of battery. So we're going to turn back, finish our little loop here, and get back onto the twisty road and kind of go back down the other side. See how it goes. That and the squishy brakes. They were worse in the other model, but these are now even, well, they're better, but they're still a little bit squishy. I don't know if that's a thing because of the regen or what the situation is, but hard right, nice. Yeah, great upgrades. Brakes need a little bit of work on, but this is a nice little electric vehicle. It really is. So what do we think? Well, Audi's done a great job in updating this car. They listened to the criticism that they got. They've updated almost everything, and they didn't charge any more money for it, which is great. It's quick, 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. It's a really enjoyable drive. It drives just like a gas-powered Audi. It's got better range. It's got faster charging speeds, and I really like it. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time with another video. Out.